Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This one we're going to be taking a look at how to use Kevin Owens as a setup guy. Um, yeah, so this will only work on tier 4 boss and lower, so keep that in mind. Our whole goal here is to get the board completely full of his trap gems, right? So we want to keep a bunch of yellow and purple because of the skill plate I have, and I'll show you the setups afterwards on the board for what's coming afterwards, right? So I'm going to try not to break those. Sometimes the board doesn't let you do a lot other than break the colors you don't want to break, which it looks like we're about there. So if I'm going to break them anyway, I'll go ahead and throw the yellow traps out. And which one do I want? Let's go this route. Okay. So our goal here is just to try and fill the board with the yellow traps. That's our goal. We want 49 on the board, right? So that's what we're going to try to do, is get 49 on the board. Should be doable-ish. 1, 2, 2 props. You want to bring yellow props for this to guarantee you get the board full. Now we have a board full of traps. And again, this won't work on tier 5, guys. So this is not an endgame Titan strategy, right? Because tier 5, the boss blows up the board. And we're going to use OTC here because we're going to blow up every single trap and get the gem buff. Which is 49 trap gems at 127% each. I also have a ring of royalty on him so it can recycle. And a maze crown. Looks like we did like 2 billion there. Now we're gonna make a 6x6 into multiplied gems of strength 25. So he's at 409 right now. $409, and that went down to 398. So I guess that was like 10 billion from Roman. Not bad. $398 to 386. I think that was like 12. So I think we're at like, I don't know, 22, 24 billion, something like that. And now here, we're just gonna kind of proceed. We can hit the buff. Now we can pop these again. We should get decent. He's at 386. Let's see where we end up. Eh. 500 million, it's okay. These parts aren't real great, right? Oh, to be fair though, with the Ring of Royalty, we're not really extending any buff. I'm just simply trying to get recycle in to put the multiplies down twice with the KO trap, so we're probably only going to get another 2 billion in on his subsequent turns. Anyway, like I was saying, this is not a long-term viable strategy for this game mode. I think you're going to see tons and tons of videos for a very long time focusing on how hard people are hitting on tier 4 in Titan, and that's not endgame at all. I think it's good to show now, because you guys are still trying to clear 4s, your factions are trying to get them done, so these types of builds will be great to unlock 5, but these strategies are no longer going to be viable, so anytime you see KO in the lead, just know it's a tier 4 thing. It's not going to do that damage on tier 5, and people are just using KO to set up, which again is fine, but it's not an endgame strategy. Same as Penta's hot tag is not an endgame Titan viable strategy, because the multiplies go away, right? The viable strategies are like people that hit hard for 2 cycles, and then you can tag them in, and then the gem buffs on the hot tag. So that'll be your viable, like, endgame Titan strategies. This stuff is helpful, like I said, now, but at a certain point, and I'm almost at that point already, because you guys are going to get the idea, there's tons of people you can use. Anyone, like Ilya would be amazing, Hogan would be amazing to follow KO and stuff like that, but it's not endgame Titan viability, right? You're looking at what you can do tier 5 and higher, because Titans, this is not the end. We're going to get more Titan levels, right? We're only up to hype 2 required, and it'll eventually go to hype 4 required. So I think we're getting at least 2 more levels, right? Let's see what our total was here. But again, I think this is great strategy to unlock on tier 4. 26 billion. Actually, no. Yeah, 26 billion. So that's my new high score. That's using KO to set it up. It's not bad. And like I said, you can use this with anyone. Cena, hip-hop Cena with the snowfalls. Haku can hit really hard this way, right? Ilya can hit super hard. Yeet J, I would imagine, can hit really hard, right? So there's no shortage of people you can do this with. Somebody that can blow up KO's traps and then can do a bunch of damage themselves. Muda probably can hit really hard this way. Ray Phoenix can probably hit really hard this way, I would imagine, right? On tier 4 with KO in the lead. So just tons of people you can use KO in the lead. You can see we did 11.9 million from KO, which means OTC did 26 billion there. Both of mine are hype 1, so they're not wasted here at all. Hype 2, neither could be used on Macho on tier 5, and again, KO wouldn't be good for tier 5 at all. But it's a pretty cool strategy. Tons of people you can use. Let me show you guys the setups, but it's not, doesn't have endgame viability, right? As far as Titan is concerned. You can't do this on tier 5 because the boss wipes the board. Anyway, let's show you guys the setups. KO is strictly 100% just trying to get the board full of traps. His damage is superfluous. So Kevin. So it's just the yellow trap is the big one. We have the other moves in there just cuz. I have the trap gym trainers and then Santa Hogan to get them loaded on turn 1. Really straightforward. As far as the strap goes, literally just it's a HP strap, right? It's a purple to yellow to help get yellows, and so, you know, if it works out right, you don't even need to use any props, or very few, you know, that's just to simply to set the turn, but I don't care about his damage. And OTC, just 100% strap on him, nothing great, right? And then multiply trainers. So we get bigger multiplies on that, right? Because we're just trying to set up the biggest boom we can. I chose blue Lex just to get closer to get the blue loaded. And then you need to do a little bit of work with your swiping. You guys probably saw I swipe blues like once or twice to get the blues loaded, right? And the purple is gonna, it's 5 MP, so 1 purple, but that works out fine because that's the color we have. Anyway, that's the setup for OTC. The strap was Ring of Royalty, so I'd recycle it. And then while we had the KO buff, I figured might as well get some more gems. So I just put May's Crown to go with it, to break more gems and get more damage with the KO gem buff, right? That was the thought process there. So yeah, a ton of people you could do that setup with. I have the moment on him too, like Haku. You could just spam his pendulum backbreaker over and over. It's going to overwrite some of the traps, but if you have the snowfall plate, you're getting 500% every time. Haku would be really big damage, for sure, right? So yeah, anyone that can blow the board. So new Showboat Penta would probably be ridiculous because his finisher has the gem buff, right? And Drew, if you did, Drew would be really good, right? Because you can get the multiplies, and the white noise, right? So, and you could load it all up, and you could recycle it with the Maze Crown on Drew, and just hit this and over and over, right? So Drew would probably be super good, especially if you have his gear, gem buff, multiply, and the gem buffs on the finisher. Alistair Black's okay. Somebody like potentially anyone with a one-click buff move, potentially okay. Yeet, potentially okay, right? You could probably do okay with Goldberg with the 500% snowfall plate, right? You could probably just use the Gorilla Press Spinebuster repeatedly with the snowfall plate. Actually, that'd probably be super good as well. You'd get 5 shots of those, buff at 500% each time with the one click with the rainbow snowfall. So Goldberg would be really good. Ilya's pretty nutty, right? And then you could probably do super good stuff with Austin as well, because he can blow the board and then he can go back to whatever rotation you want to use with him. So Austin would probably be really good. Um, yeah, just a ton of people. Hogan, Powerhouse Hogan would be probably ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous following him. Um, Julius could maybe be interesting because he turns traps to purple, but then you'd have to reload it, so probably not. Yeah, like I said, anyone that blows up the board and then continues to do their thing. So Ilya would be awesome. And by blow up the board, they can't cover special gems, right? Bray would probably be really strong too, because he's just gonna, with the every turn, he's just gonna blow up the board, right? Blow up the board, blow up the board, blow, 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 blow. So Bray could probably actually be really strong following KO. You know what I mean? Ray Phoenix, Muda, maybe someone like Seth, because he, can just spam the reds. I don't know. Probably not Seth, but maybe. I'm just randomly throwing stuff out there now, right? So anyway, guys, maybe someone like JD McDonough, actually, with the blues, double blue, with the buff in the blue, he could just literally spam blue gems with a blue Royal Rumble. There's a lot of different possibilities and routes you can go. So yeah, have some fun with KO at tier 4. No reason to take him higher. Really hype, unless you pull it naturally, because this tactic won't work on tier 4. So just keep that in mind. This and like a lot of the hot tag builds. Now the hot tag builds that let you get 2 turns is completely viable strategy. The hot tag builds that let you get a gem buff with the hot tag, completely viable strategy. But the Penta strategy is not good on tier 5. So like on tier 5, you'd switch Penta over to the power gem build to try and get more damage, right? So just keep that in mind, what you're working for in Titan Takeover, and don't fall in love with these huge damage builds you're seeing, because they're no good after tier 4. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments, and remember to like, subscribe, and share, because that really helps me out. Other than that, thanks for watching, and good luck out there. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting.